Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, episode 312. I am your host, Lance Brock, and we are halfway through this big pro wrestling weekend. Thank you for tuning in tonight on this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Gonna recap WWE Clash at the Castle. And tomorrow, NXT and NXT UK Worlds collide. And it all finishes up Sunday night with AEW All Out. And now let's get into WWE Clash at the Castle, and it was live from Cardiff, Wales, exclusively on Peacock here in the United States, the WWE Network everywhere else. And we start off with what I thought was a pretty good video package, and our commentators for this premium live event are Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton. And we start things off with our opening contest. And it is a 6-woman tag team match. Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky taking on the team of Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka. This one I thought started off pretty good for the show. Pretty good match here. And the UK crowd, it's the United Kingdom. Wales is there. And they're chanting like they used to with that one song, Bayley. I didn't quite get why they were chanting the song. It makes sense. Back when Bayley was one of the top baby faces on NXT, and then when she went up to the main roster too. But now that she's a heel, and it doesn't really make sense why they were doing the song and the chant for her when she's a heel. But in the end, Bayley pins the SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair after a triple team, but still gets the pin on the champion. I'm sure next premium live event, maybe Extreme Rules, we might see that match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley and Bianca Belair. Next up at Clash at the Castle, we have a match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Sheamus challenging Gunther, the former Walter. See, the one's name who I do actually remember, I have trouble saying. And he comes out with his NXT group back together again. And to counter the Brawling Brutes. And I just want to say, it's not that I didn't expect this match to be good, because I did with the two guys involved, but this match definitely exceeded my expectations. Was way better than I thought it would be. And is Gunther going over to retain the Intercontinental Championship? But man, I just want to say that Sheamus definitely impressed me in this one. I would say this has to be one of the best Sheamus matches I have seen in quite a while. And Sheamus did not go over, win the title, but fantastic match, and he got a standing ovation after, and it was well deserved. If you did not see this match, this is one you definitely have to check out. Definitely recommend it. Sheamus versus Gunther. I don't know why they give guys. Well, I'm stupid, but it's hard for me to pronounce anyway. 19 minutes, 39 seconds for this one. Once again, this was a great match here. And if you watch only one match, which you should watch the whole show, but this is definitely one of them you should check out. And the SmackDown Women's Championship is up next. Liv Morgan taking on Shayna Baszler. And this was another surprisingly good match that was maybe a little better than I thought it would be. Is Liv Morgan retaining, though, to remain SmackDown Women's Champion with the Oblivion at 11 minutes 2 seconds. Impressed by Liv Morgan and Baszler in this match. And now the tag team, I guess you could call it maybe a grudge match. Rey Mysterio and Edge taking on the Judgment Day. Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Dominic Mysterio in the corner of Rey and Edge. And Rhea Ripley in the corner of the Judgment Day. I mentioned on the last episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic that I expected to see Dominic turn and maybe cost Edge to lose the match, but that did not happen. Well, not during the match anyway. Edge and Mysterio are victorious when Edge pins Finn Balor at 12 minutes 35 seconds. And then Dominic gets in the ring. Looks like it's going to be a celebration. And boom, Dominic hits Edge with a low blow and starts to attack him. Rey tries to stop him, and then he looks like he's just going to walk off. But then he hits his own father with a clothesline. And then he leaves. So Dominic Mysterio turning heel. Now I wonder, since he's a heel now, that maybe if they'll change his name to Dominic Guerrero, if you remember that famous storyline. He is supposed to be Eddie Guerrero's son. They had the ladder match for the custody of Dominic. It was mentioned on Rey Mysterio's biography on A&E and the episode of Rivals on A&E. Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero. But that wasn't my idea. I actually heard that by Mike McGuire on Sunday night's main event, but that would be quite an interesting angle if they do decide to go that way. And now we get the attendance for today's Clash at the Castle event. I'm not sure if this is the actual attendance or if this is just the number that WWE wants you to think is the attendance. but it was announced at 62,296 people in Cardiff, Wales. If it is the legit number, very impressive, which I'm going to be surprised if it is at least close to it, because it did look like there was a huge crowd there in the stadium. Excuse me. Next up, Seth Rollins taking on Matt Riddle, as we seen that interview from Raw Monday night conducted by Corey Graves, and then they did the thing where they ended it, but their mics were still on, and Rollins brought up Riddle's divorce and not seeing his kids, and so very personal match going into this one. I was kind of surprised though. I thought they might have had Riddle come out and be more serious. Just walk to the ring, no scooter, no smiling, no good mood, no fist bumps, no bro. I thought they might have just had him be serious. Just go right to the ring, all business. And then when Rollins comes out, just attack him right off the bat. But instead, he came out, usual entrance, on the scooter, fist bumping and everything. Which I don't mind, but this was supposed to be a serious angle that they set up on Raw Monday, heading into Clash at the Castle. But Seth Rollins is victorious against Riddle in this one. And it is now time for the main event of the evening, or here in the United States, the afternoon, I should say. And really good match here, I thought. And Roman Reigns retains at 30 minutes, 50 seconds. The Usos are not there. Just like a couple weeks ago when Raw and SmackDown were in Canada, they weren't able to get into the country because of the arrests. But we did see a member of the Bloodline from NXT, who I believe we've never seen on the main roster at all. I don't think anyway. If we have, very little we have seen of him, but Solo Sikoa, the Usos' younger brother, helping out his cousin Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. 30 minutes, 50 seconds, still the undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Like I said, good match. And then after Tyson Fury gets in the ring, shakes the hand of Roman Reigns, he leaves, and then gets Drew McIntyre, and they sing a couple songs. So the crowd there in Wales, the United Kingdom, can go home happy, even though Drew McIntyre did not become the undisputed Universal Champion. So that was WWE Clash at the Castle. And going into this show, I expected it to be good, but it was better than I thought. A very good show, maybe even great, I would say, in my opinion anyway. I really haven't. After I'm recording my podcast, 360 Wrestling Fanatic, right now, I'm going to listen to Post Wrestling's post show, John Pollock and Wade Ting, and maybe check some other reviews out. And because I haven't really seen any other reviews just yet, because I was working this afternoon, and then I didn't get to watch all of it live, but I did some of it. I was able to watch a little bit while I was working, and so when I got home, I was able to finish and watch the rest of it. It was a very good card, solid action, I thought. Especially, I might even go with this one for match of the night, maybe Sheamus and Gunther. It just might be my pick of match of the night. And no disrespect to Gunther, or whatever his name is, whatever they call him, the former Walter. That's easier to say. And also, I forgot to mention real quick. Well, I'll finish my first thought, what I was talking about. Sheamus, though, he might be the MVP. Even in a losing effort, he just had a great showing in that match, I thought. And don't get me wrong, I know Sheamus is a good worker. He can have good matches, but this one was one of his best in quite a while. And what I was going to say there, I just remembered, I didn't mention during the recap, but Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux in the crowd, and then I'm sure he could be the next challenger, maybe for Roman Reigns. On SmackDown last night, it had Black Roses, that's that TikTok, that were delivered to Sami Zayn, and he comes out with that hourglass. Maybe that's his way of doing a tribute, because he's also, like myself, a fan of Days of Our Lives. Who knows? But, pretty soon, I'm sure there's a chance we could see Killer Cross versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. So, like I said at the top of the podcast, we're halfway through of this big pro wrestling weekend. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, we have NXT Worlds Collide, featuring the unification matches of the NXT Championships and the NXT UK Championships. And then Sunday night, live from Chicago or Hoffman Estates, Illinois, at the Now Arena, AEW All Out, the main event for the AEW World Championship, CM Punk taking on Jon Moxley, in the tournament finals to crown the first ever AEW World Trios Champions. We've got the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, taking on the Dark Order, John Silver and Alex Reynolds, teaming with Hangman Adam Page. That'll definitely be interesting to see there what happens. And the Casino Ladder match with the Joker, who knows that's going to be. We got Christian Cage taking on Jungle Boy, which has been building for a while now. Should be a very good match. The build has been very good. And we have for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland taking on the Acclaimed with Billy Gunn in their corner. And much more. I definitely hope to have a recap of All Out coming up here on 360 Wrestling Fanatic. And real quick, I want to mention, of course, we have the match to crown the new AEW interim women's champion after it was vacated And that's all for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Like I said, hope to be back soon with a recap of AEW All Out. Remember, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, or you want to let me know what you thought of Clash at the Castle 360 Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com, or in the comment section on YouTube, or where you listen to the website at. If they have a comment section, you can leave a comment, like, subscribe, share the podcast, share it on YouTube, or anything, any of the podcast websites, share it. Like Colt Cabana always says, it helps the algorithm get set out there. And if you want to help support 360 Wrestling Podcast, you can 2 ways. First, at anchor.fm/360-wrestling-podcast. I'll put that in the description as always. And www.streamlabs.com/360 Wrestling Podcast. I believe you can still donate even when I'm not streaming. I hope to stream again soon, but unfortunately I haven't figured out Streamlabs that good just yet. But I'll keep trying, so stay tuned for that. For when I do stream, thank you very much for listening. Don't forget that All Out recap hopefully will be coming soon. But until then, the next episode, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.